Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Um, just want to talk a little bit today about what's going on in the world. Um, do a little collective read. So, today I want to really look at why it is that, well, we know what happened with what we know what happened with Michelle Obama, about not with Michelle Obama, but what happened when um, the wrestler, whoever he was, I don't even want to, if I knew his name, I probably wouldn't say it. But anyway, he had a lot to say about Michelle Obama, calling her out of her name and everything. So, you know what? I want to take a look at him and see exactly what his problem is. I think his name was, well, I'll keep it to myself, but thank you all for joining me. Um, let's see. Let me put something in the chat. See if I can get some feedback. All right. Let's see. One more thing. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see where we are. Back to my live. Okay, so I am just going to take a look at um, this guy. I guess I could look up his name, but you know, I feel like he was probably told what to say by you know who. Um, so let me see what his name is. Tell me what the guy's name is that called Michelle Obama a man. What is his name? Okay. It's Josh Hokit. Okay. So let's take a look at him. I want to see what's going on with him because um, he had nerves enough to call her that. And, you know, I really want to know what's beneath that. Why would he think that that was okay? Um, I'm just gonna do a little deep dive and see how much I can find out about him. Um, I kind of know, like I feel like I know what he was trying to say or do. You know, it's just to belittle women, for one thing. All right, let's see what we have here. Hmm. Bottom of the deck, we have the depth card. I think that him doing that, he thought it was a great thing to do. Um, but in the end, he's going to have to pay for that. So it may cause some endings for him in certain places, which we know that that's happening already because there have been lawsuits filed. But yeah, this was some kind of collaboration, and we have the Four of Cups here because somebody's disappointed about the way things are going with them. Um, but and they felt that this was a great opportunity for them to I hope you can see the cards, a great opportunity for them to um, talk about someone that's, you know, has a lot of, she's known everywhere. She's everybody loves her and that kind of thing. So he thought that she would be the perfect target. And we have the Nine of Wands here. And that's telling me that, yeah, he thought that he could do that and get away with it, but that is not how things are going to go for him. Now, with this collaboration card coming up here, I really believe that others were involved. He didn't just say that just off the, you know, top of his head. This was thought out. This was planned, and he thought that he could get away with it. But there's going to be a lot of things that come up that he isn't going to like because the person that he did talked about this time, I mean, they can fight back. Um, President and Mrs. Obama can fight back, and that's what they're doing. And I think a lot of other people are going to also join it. So join the fight, which is good. Now, I want to look at another thing about him. I want to see. So we know that it was a collaboration. Why? Let's see why. Mr. Josh. Let's see why you collaborated with someone to do such a thing. All right. All right. Okay. He thought that it would bring him strength. That we have the strength card here, and he thought that he could cause some things to happen with this Five of Swords here, and he could get away with it. In other words, they were trying to make you look the other way, you know, him and whoever he collaborated with. But there's a lot of people that he didn't think about. People are having compassion for her, not him. And the sad part about it is he thought he was being very creative with this, or him and the person that put him up to it had to be somebody that is in high authority, and we know who that might be for entertainment purposes only. And that person offered him an opportunity to do this, but it's not going to do him any good because in the end, he's going to lose. He's going to lose so much from following those orders. I'm trying to see here. He wanted to rock the boat as far as making sure that this emperor here gets what he wants, and everybody will be talking about her instead of paying attention to him. Or, you know, of course, we all know he hates Obama, so that's not a big deal. You know, that's neither here nor there. So they took a shot at her. There's that collaboration card again. So they were working together. Um, yeah, all that hard work he did. If he gets anything out of this, or maybe he thought that his emperor was gonna pay him or something like that, it's really gonna be slow coming. Um, yeah, here it is. Um, things are going to be balanced out better than what he thinks. Now we're reading on him. He thought that he could um, cause a lot of friction, but the thing that's going to happen is people are going to be looking at how wrong he was for doing it, and there's a lot of attention going to be brought to women, okay? Because the women are going to be celebrating. This is going to give women an opportunity to shed some light on these people that think they can just take everything out on a woman when they get upset. But it's going to open some doors for women. And this person, this emperor who thought his wishes were going to come true, who thought, and him also, who thought that he was going to gain a lot from this, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose for sure. Yeah, he was offered this opportunity because we already know. We already know who's upset about things that happened in the past, and they're trying to make all these opportunities come through for this person, but opportunities are going to be taken away from him, and all of the wealth that he thought he was going to get, because they're suing him. And not only are the Obamas suing him, other women are coming forward. And there's going to be a lot of light shown on this. So exposure, 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 okay? So it's not going to be the way that they thought it was supposed to be. It's going to work against them because he's shown the light on, what they were trying to do. And the thing about it is, guys, most of the times, a lot of times when they do that, it is because they are trying to um, make women look small, especially if they are much smarter than them. They don't take any stuff from them. This is their opportunity to make women look small by saying they're, men. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate you. If you are here, let me know. Let me know where you guys are at. Where are you from? Put it in the chat for me. Okay, now let's see. Still want to dig deep on him a little bit. You know what? I'm going to pull 3 cards, and I'm going to see if he was put up to this by you know who. Let's pull 3 cards and see. Yes. Oh, he was, yeah. He pretty much had to do it because I feel like the whole thing was kind of set up. In other words, if you don't do it, we're going to turn on you kind of thing. So he was manipulated. But yes, he was told to do it. Not that he had, he really didn't have a choice, but he probably would have done it anyway. So, yeah, he was manipulated into doing it. Was the fight, whatever that was, a setup? Was a setup for him to win, for him to say what he said? The competition. There's the competition showing up here. and endings with the death card showing up. And then again, it was kind of like, um, these people, they're under a cult, and he was kind of pushed to do what he did, whether he wanted to do it or not. He had to do it. Okay, they don't. These MAGA people don't understand that if they get close enough to their leader, they're going to be brought down right with him when he comes down. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, put it in the chat for me, and I'll look at it. I know that the orange spot, is probably going to be out of the country if he isn't already. Let's see how that's going to go. I heard something about it. I try not to follow that too much, but I heard something about he was going to be going somewhere, so let's see how that's going to turn out for him. Tell me the trip that orange peel is going on. How's that going to turn out for him? How's the trip going to go, Spirit? Ooh. Karma, heartbreak or heart attack, whatever you want to call it. There's the Eight of Pentacles there. There could be some health problems. Some kind of offer is going to be made. Either who's going to make the offer? We have the Nine of Pentacles here also. I think the other countries, that's going to be involved in this, they feel self-sufficient. They don't feel like they need the United States. Okay, it's not like it used to be with this card showing up here. I feel like they are feeling like they don't. He can be there. He doesn't have to be there. They don't care at this point. And he's going to see, in a timely fashion, that people don't care. He's not going to like it. Okay? But with this card here, right next to this Three of Swords here, it kind of makes me feel like he's going to be working, his heart is going to be working overtime, guys. Overtime. I don't think. Okay. He's not going to, I'll just say this. He won't be feeling well while he's there, is what I'm getting right now. And I can't even remember where it was, but I know he's supposed to be going out of the country for some big meeting, so. Guys, if you have any questions for me, put it in the chat, please, and we can talk about it. Thank you for joining me. Let me know where you're from. I'd appreciate it. Let's see, what else can we look at right now? Well, let's look at something um, positive. The Obama Presidential Center. I think it opened. Well, as of yesterday, Juneteenth, it was supposed to open. So let's see how that's going. All right. All right, Spirit. Tell us about the Obama Presidential Center. How is that going for him? Something new for him and new for the people. And when I look at this card, I see it as um, hope you guys can see it, bringing people together. I can bring you down to the cards here. Um, but and also it's this justice card that's next to it. This justice card here. Now, to me, it feels like he feels like he's balancing the scales. I mean, even though, um, um, you know, they have treated, not they, this administration has been so against the Obamas. I think he feels like he's getting kind of vindicated in the sense, not that he needed it, but he can walk away from this administration and you know, because he's disappointed in it. But I feel like he's disappointed the way things are going right now. And put it down. Okay. He's very disappointed. But I think what he is feeling like, this is going to bring people together. He feels like justice has arrived for him. He can walk away from, you know, what's going on because it disappoints him. And he's standing his ground. This financial loss, though, what are we talking about here, Spirit? Then we have the death, something ending at the White House and celebration. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think what it is when I put all these cards together, it's looking like he's feeling like he's done something, he's accomplished something that can bring people together and give people some justice, and they can walk away from this other orange peel, and orange peel is going to be feel like he's left out in the cold. See, this is he wants so badly to get that ballroom done because that's his big endeavor, and but he's going to be left feeling like um, things with this all the attention that this Obama Presidential Center is getting. Um, he's going to feel like he's left out in the cold. So what is he going to do next? And here we have a celebration card, and we know that's not him celebrating. That's Obama celebrating. But the whole issue is for Obama is he feels like what he's done here has a lot of meaning, and all those things that he went through, you know, while he was in the White House, which showed up too in that reading. um, he can leave that behind him because this is his big endeavor. Hi, Witch. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for um, chatting with me. What orange the orange spot? What he feels like now because even though he's tried so hard to bring the Obamas down, and they still have accomplished a lot, you know? So, what is he going to do now that the Presidential Center is up and running? The Obama Presidential Center is up and running. What can we expect out of the orange peel? Okay, he's still thinking about things in the past. He's going to try. We have the Hierophant here, which is about institutions and um, the law, tradition. Um, he's got to figure out a way to make himself as big, and he's gonna work on even more ideas. Um, to okay, here is the Hanged Man. Okay, so I have a feeling that he's going to be trying to figure out a new way to get the attention off of Obama now because he's tried so hard um, in the past, and now this is just like another stab in his back. So here he is, the Seven of Swords. He's gonna have to do something, guys. We got to watch this closely because since this has happened and he still doesn't have his ballroom and his name is being taken off of things, he is going to be really pissed. Yep. Thank you, Witch. Thank you for the hearts. He's going to be really, really pissed about everything. So we got to see what he's going to try to do next to get away with something. And he will. Trust me. Don't think that he hasn't paid attention to him and his people haven't paid attention to what's going on with Obama because that's all they think about. That's all they think about. I meant to say, well, yeah, yeah, it will. It's probably on his mind right now. What can I do to top that? So, we got that to look forward to, and in time we're going to find out exactly what's going on, what he's going to do next. I just don't think, guys, that he's going to be here long. Hello, Mary. Good to be with you tonight. Can you please, oh, turn my volume up? Is that better? Maybe I'm not speaking into it because the volume, it is going. Let me know if that's better, Brenda. You said I had my TV turned up loud in order to hear you, but when the commercial came on, my TV was too loud. Okay, I think it's just that because my mic is showing that my mic is okay. This mic, I have to be right in it. So I hope that's better. Thanks, Brenda, for letting me know. I appreciate you guys for being here. So the thing about okay, the thing about him is that he is just so fixated on Obama. He wants to do so much better than Obama. That he, guys, put a like in the give me some likes too, so that maybe we can get some more people to come in. Thank you. He's so fixated on Obama that he just doesn't know what to do with himself, and he wants that award so bad, and there's no way that he's going to get it. He wants to do better than Obama, and that's what's really got him so upset. When it comes to watching certain channels, oh, okay, you're talking to Brenda. Yeah. I think that with this particular mic, I have to be right on the mic, and that's a problem too. Thank you. Thank you, Witch, for giving me a like. I appreciate you. Um, Anybody have any questions they want me to look at? Because, I mean, we could talk about him and how he's trying to make the Obamas look bad for now on, because that's his whole thing. He wants so badly to bring them down, but he can't. And this was Josh, whatever his name is, Josh. He's gonna end up penniless, But everybody, everybody, just about everybody who follows him, they end up losing everything anyway. So that's to be expected, I guess. I would like to know more about recent models. Oh, okay, from Anthropic, the one that makes Claude recently. They had to pull it back because of government reasons. But Trump is going after them. Yeah, I believe that, which because they refuse to sign the same thing that OpenAI and Grok AI signed. Yeah. So let's see what's going to happen with that. The last one was 5 point something. I think that's the one that they had to shut it down. Let's see, will they be able to bring that back? Will they be able to bring that back? They said it was because of security reasons that he shut it down, but we know that with him there is more to it than that. So let's see. Mm-hmm. Okay. What we have here is the Page of Cups, and it's telling me that they made them an offer, or Claude an offer, but they refused to offer because they didn't, they knew that something fishy was going on with it. But it's also like they want to take over everything. They want to be over everything. With this Empress showing up here, it's more, he wants to be in charge of everything, okay? And what everybody can do as far as that goes. He doesn't want people to have, to be able to really learn how to use the systems, because if they do, that's less money for him. He wants to keep people in certain classes. And then we have class meaning you can't go too far. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay where he wants you to stay. Then we have the Queen of Cups here. And so people are watching what's going on, and you know, they're feeling sort of emotional about it, but the lid is going to come off, and we're going to find out exactly what's going on, because we have the Ace of Wands here. So some action. They may try to do some other things. Now they've already said that, you know, they can't use that particular one. I think it's 5 point something, and it's caused a burden for Claude. But let me clarify. Yeah, it's more about the money for them. Like I said, we have this 9 of Pentacles here, and it's like they don't want people to have so much independence. And with that particular 5.1 or whatever it was, it's 5 point something that Claude had brought out. It would give people too much independence, and they want people to be dependent on the government, okay, to do everything. They want everything to go through them, and so they shut it down. Um, we have the King of Swords here. I believe that's him showing up. Justice. So I see this may go to court um, because they are trying. They're going to come up with something else. You know, even though Claude said, okay, you know, we're going to see if this is really causing some kind of breach of security. You know, they're going along with it. They shut it down, okay? But it's not going to stay shut down, because I believe that with this justice card showing up here, somebody is going to have to, I believe that he's going to have to walk away from this, you know, because they're not just shutting it down and letting it go. They're going to look into it to see really what is he talking about? What is going on? Is it really causing problems with security and that kind of thing? And I believe that in the end, he's going to have to change or walk away from it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to seek justice on this. They're not just going to let it go. First of all, he's not going to leave them alone. He's not going to leave them alone. You know, he wants to be the dictator, so he's not going to leave them alone. And then we have the Page of Wands here. So it's like there's going to be new things coming out with Claude. And let me see. Choices. Okay. So I believe that new things are going to come out. He's going to be very disappointed because he's not going to be able to make them do what he wants them to do. You know, they have done this. They have said, okay, we will stop and see what's going on. We have the Queen of Wands, but see, things are going to start to move forward again. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a back and forth fight. But I believe that in the end, Claude is going to, you know, win out. Because, yeah, there it is again, that burden card. He's causing burdens. He's causing problems for everybody. This is going to be a back and forth thing. Back and forth. They're going to put something else different out, or they're going to come back and say, you know, this is okay. We checked. There's no security breaches in it, and we're going to go forward with it. And then he's going to come back with something else. He's got his people really working on it, guys, but in the end, he's going to have to walk away from it. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with that, why he will, but yes, he will. Yep, justice is going to come for them. Can you read on CEO, Anthropic, Claude, and see? Because it seems he's true and actually cares. Okay. I don't know who is the CEO. Let's ask. Who's the CEO of Clyde? Okay. Um, who is the CEO of Anthropic? Who's the CEO of Anthropic? Okay. Dario Amodi is still the chairman as of now. He held the role since co-founding the company in 2021. Okay. Well, I was wondering how he's handling the fact that the new 5 point, your latest version has been stopped. They asked me, guys. Yep, that's it. Which you are on top of it. Why did I want to know that? And I'm saying, quick clarification. I'm Model. Model, you mean the one you're talking about right now? No, I'm talking about five. Okay, five. Claude Mythos 5 and Fable 5 is what it is, I think. Um, Here's what's happened. On June 12th, the U.S. government issued an export control directive ordering Anthropic to suspend access to those two models. Okay, so it's two models. It's Claude Mythos 5 and Claude Fable 5. Um, for any foreign national inside or outside the U.S., including Anthropic's own foreign national employees. To comply, Anthropic abruptly disabled both models for all of its customers while saying all of the other models would not be affected. As for Amadi, I guess that's his name, and Anthropic, we're handling it. The company is complying but pushing back hard. Yeah, see, I just said that. Pushing back hard. They've said they disagree with narrow potential jailbreak should justify recalling a model deployed to hundreds of millions of people, and argued that if that standard were applied across the industry, it would essentially halt all new models. Yep, exactly what I just said. Because they're going to keep going back and forth with it. He is not going to be satisfied until he stops this company, guys. And it says Anthropic's position is that the government should be able to block unsafe deployments, but only through a process that's transparent, fair, and grounded in technical facts, and that this action didn't meet those standards. They've called it misunderstanding and said they're working to restore access as soon as possible. So this also sits inside a bigger fight. The Defense Department has already declared Anthropic a supply chain risk, and Anthropic sued the Trump administration to reverse that, with litigation still ongoing. I should be honest that my own information here may not be fully current. Okay. This is moving fast, and then they give you a place to find the latest. Yeah, exactly what I said. It's going to go back and forth because they're not going to want him to come out with other. They're not going to want them to come out with other new programs because they're going to feel like they should be in charge of everything. They don't want people to get. I'm going to look at how he's feeling anyway. They don't want people to have access to things that's going to better them. They want to control everything and everybody because they want to keep people in a certain class. They are with this supremacist stuff, they are the ones that they feel should be in charge of everything, and nobody else is supposed to be able to um, move up or do better. Now they're trying to profile, no, to be polite, but wasn't a yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. That is so true. They are, I think, they got to be careful because they are a big company too. But let me see what he's thinking. What is the CEO, Dario Amadii? What is he feeling about this whole situation? But he's fighting back. And the next thing they come out with, the administration is going to do the same thing. So, in other words, they're stalling them, they're stifling them, they're not going to let them move forward. How is the CEO feeling about this whole situation? Okay. Okay. They feel like they are going to complete what they set out to do because with all the investigation that the administration is doing, they're also going to be doing their investigation, and they're going to expose some things about what is really going on and why the administration is doing them the way that they are doing them. They are not going to let them stop them from doing what needs to be done. And they're going to figure it out. We have the world card, the page of swords, the sun, which everything, they're going to expose everything because they've got people looking into this too. And, they're disappointed in the way things have went. But with this Queen of Swords showing up here, they feel like, when they take this to court and everything, they're going to come out ahead. I don't think they're going to be able to stop them like they want. Although it is going to be a big fight, guys. You can believe that. Everything they come out with from now on, they're going to try to stop them. I thought it was only one program that they tried to stop. But see, now you see it's two. It's two. So they're going to continue doing that. Which says, wow, great news. I feel like one of the best companies actually for AI with the people that's behind it. Yeah. Yeah. So he's not going to back down. And why should he? I mean, they want to get their hands on everything. Yeah, it's two. It is two. So I'm sure, but one, it seems like one leads into the next, leads into the next. So if they can stop one, then they'll be able to stop others. And they'll be able to stifle their growth. So I think they're going to be able to do something about it, which is good. I'm glad. Everybody's afraid. Should we really be afraid of AI though, guys? That's my question. Should we really be afraid of AI? Should we really be afraid of AI? Let's ask that question. I'm going to pull 3 cards and see what Spirit says. Spirit, should we really be afraid of AI? Well, it's moving fast. It's moving fast, fast, fast. And I think, like I said before, it's just going to happen anyway. People are worried. people are definitely worried about it and staying up nights worried about it. We have the Queen of Wands here. That's telling me that, we have to. I think what this is saying that is that people are worried is coming fast, but we have to be courageous and confident about it. I think we have to learn how to work with it, in a sense, um, because actually there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do to stop it. Um, then we have the six of Pentacles here. So some people are going to get it, some people aren't. But it may help bring some balance, guys, to um, as far as I would say even economically, because some people, this may help the wealth of some people, even though, yeah, it's going to hurt people also. But with AI, I don't think there's going to be a way to say you can't have it and you can have it. I think that that's the thing that we're looking at. It's not going to be a thing of, because you're this color and you're that, how DEI kind of thing. That's the thing that he can't stop. So we have the Ace of Swords showing up here too. So I feel like just what I just said, that it's going to bring clarity, in a sense, to people who have been unable to make moves like they wanted to. It's going to make it easier, which is why he's trying to stop this Claude thing from happening, because everybody's going to be able to work with it if they accept it. I don't think it's anything for us to be afraid of. It's going to cause a lot of disturbance, of course. And I mean, people have already, he's gotten rid of so many positions and things already, because he's trying to stop certain people, especially women, from advancing. And this is just another thing that he thinks is going to work in his favor, because he thinks if he can control that, he can still control the wealth of certain people. And I don't mean that he only wants the white supremacists to have everything, because when he took away DEI, I don't think he realized, or he didn't care. Even if he did realize, he didn't care that it affected other people. He just wants to stay on top. He wants his people to stay on top. And you got to be in a certain kind of clique, like in school or in college or whatever. You got to be in a certain clique in order to hang out with him. And that's how he wants things to be. But if people really embrace it and figure out how it can help them, then I think people will be further along and stop. Of course, we have to be careful, because there's always a wrong way of doing things and a right way of doing things. But that's just everyday life. That's nothing new. So you can use AI in the wrong way and you can use it in the right way, like everything else. Two sides to a coin. And I think that people, if they really want to use it to help themselves or whatever, I think people should try to understand how they can do that. Because, when you think about it, AI is only people feeding it this information, guys. It's people feeding the information into AI. Now, there's probably going to be people, like, you could, off the top of your head, you can think of certain people like the trillionaire that may want to feed it false information and that kind of thing. That's why you have to keep a clear head and really do your own research when you're working with it, um, because that can happen. I mean, all you got to do is think about the Bible. You know, do as your master says do, whatever. Those kinds of things. Things are put into things that, the wrong people get their hands on it and they do the wrong things. And I'm not saying just follow whatever AI says, because nobody should do that. But I think that we should look at it as a help and research to make sure that whatever we're doing and however we're working with it is good for us. Claude is helping me with a book. Yeah, see, you can use it for all those things, and they won't do it. The thing is, guys, I know you guys hear all the, it sounds like a fire truck going by or something. But anyway, yeah, it's your book, though. I'm sure they're asking you questions and you're, giving them answers and that kind of thing. So you don't turn over everything to AI. It's something that they help you with, not that they do for you. So, and I think as long as people look at it that way and they don't give up all of the control to AI, so that you keep thinking like you normally think, I think everybody's going to be okay. But if you just turn it over to them and let them, the only thing about turning it over to them and let them do everything for you is that everybody's going to have the same outcome. Like you said about your book. You write a certain book, it's going to look like AI wrote it if you don't put in your own take on how it should go, and that kind of thing. So, yeah, it just helps you get things done quicker, too, I believe. You said, yeah, about the information. When I was having a recent discussion with Claude, it was even using what I told it to tell me that it couldn't just outright tell me something. Right. And see, that's another thing you're doing right, which is that you got to dig into AI and you got to tell it, I don't want you to just tell me what you think you should tell me. You know what I'm saying? I do that. I'm like, I don't want what you think. I don't want to hear what you think I should hear. And I know you're a program, and I know you've been programmed to say certain things, but if you can't give me true information, just don't give it to me. Just don't give me anything. And I always ask for resources too, because otherwise they're going to give you the same random information that they give everybody else. And that's what you don't want to do. So you got to learn how to dig deep, even though it's AI. Because not only what I found, we had already set up a dialogue, and it said that it couldn't just agree with me. Okay, well, that's good. So you already told it. I want you to just agree with me. I want factual, honest information. That's the way you have to talk to it. Otherwise, it's really not. It's really not good to work with it if you don't know how to give the prompts that you need to give it. So, yeah. And this new versions, I think it was even better because they were saying like, you don't have to, certain things, like if you want to just build a website or whatever you want to do, this is what I heard, I don't know. You can give AI the prompts and just have it done. You know how hard it was? I built some websites before, and I still have one up or two. But anyway, it takes a long time if you're doing it yourself. And if you're not doing it yourself and you get somebody else to do it for you, it takes a lot of money. So it's probably not as expensive now because with AI, people can do it quicker and that kind of thing. But if they can just, if you give it the information you want and say, this is what I want in it, that's what I want in it, blah, 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 and they just build it, Do you know how much money that's saving you, how much time that's saving you, how much energy is saving you, so that you can move on to other things? Yeah, which says, yes, it was able to do amazing things. That's what I heard. Hey, Christine, how are you? I think your channel is shallow band because viewership is way down. Yeah, and a lot of content creators are complaining about this happening. I don't know why it's happening. What is the problem? You know, I've been watching that too, and I thought part of my problem is that I've been gone so long. Because when I got ill, I wasn't, you know, putting out as many videos, but still, I'm not anywhere near where I was. And I'm trying to figure that out. They say that they don't really shadow ban you, but I think something's going on because even a lot of people that do tarot, because I watch, and it's like their channels are down too. So I don't know what YouTube is trying to do. What is YouTube trying to do? Hey, we got the cards. We're going to ask. How can I ask this question? Oh, true, which they're even going after independent news. And it could be a lot of that too. They are. They put that one guy on a some kind of list of Trumps. What's his name? David. Anyway, he says he's on a list. And when he puts you on a list, he's coming after you. Yeah, because tarot cards readings are actually on the same path as independent news, if you ask me. Yeah, we could I'm not saying everything that we say is, well, we can say it, we don't know when it's going to happen. But they don't like the fact that you can predict certain things. They've gotten control of everything. Oh, which says a few of them have been listed. Okay. I only knew about that one guy because he came out and said what they were doing to him. But I think about, yeah, and they don't like the prediction of the fact that they left learning, so to say. Yeah, left leaning, so to say. Just like, it scares me in a sense because, and I shouldn't say that, but it makes me think. Because we all know what happened with Nancy Guthrie. Yeah, David Packman. That's his name. Thank you, Christine. We all know what happened with her. So it's like you can think that he is not paying any attention. He will go after anybody. Now, he didn't go after the daughter that did the interview. He went, well, entertainment purposes only. Nancy's mother came up missing. I mean, not Nancy's mother. What's her name? Her mother, the one that did the reporting about Epstein, did the interview. It was her mother. It wasn't her. Yeah, they probably even have a system in place to keep track. It wouldn't, put it past me. And then what have we been talking about a lot? EPS. You've been talking about EPS. So that keeps the focus on EPS. And he doesn't like that either, Supposed to be left leaning. They probably even have a system in place to track. Yeah. Yeah, I think that is Savannah. Thank you, Christine. Yes, Savannah. That was her name. She did the interview about Epps. And remember, she talked to him too. He didn't like it. So this is what I'm talking about. And maybe, who knows? Hopefully he won't be able to take over everything with YouTube, but we don't know. You know, him and his friend, the trillionaire, because I believe they're still friends. Yeah, people in Russia meet bodies of water or windows all the time, and supposedly has accidents. You know what? It's a good thing that he can't be around after the next couple of years if he's still here then, because that kind of thing would definitely be happening a lot. The tide is already turning. I think the Kennedy Center, yes, the Kennedy Center is a good place to start. It's only the surface, but I think it matters. I agree, which, um, yeah, and I think he's very disappointed about that, and he's doing stupid things like the wrestling match and that kind of thing. Now I forgot what I was at. What was my question, guys? What was my question that I was gonna ask the cards? Oh man, I forgot. Now I should have wrote it down. Um. Anyway, yeah, I think that with the Kennedy Center, now that's a big deal. But you see how they did the one person that was gonna vote no? You see what they did with her? Yeah, so do I, which so do I. It's terrible what happened. She wasn't bothering anybody. She wasn't. But oh, the one person. Oh, okay. She didn't get a chance to vote because they turned off her mic so that she couldn't. She was a black lady and she wanted to vote no. And it's all over the internet. You can find it. I don't know what her name was. She's a congressperson and she was on the board. Well, she must have been one of the ones that he couldn't get off the board because he changed the board over to all of his own people so that he could get them to vote the way he wanted them to vote, and he turned off her mic so she didn't get a chance to vote. So, so she's the one who started the lawsuit in order to get the courts look at the fact that his name was on the building, and they said it was illegal. So she fought to get it turned around, and she did. Yeah. Okay. Is my volume better now when I'm right in it? Is it better now, Alicia? Because it's like I have to be right in the right place with this, and I have to keep it right up. Is that better? I'm trying to stay right in it. Okay, Brenda says yes. Good. Thank you. Christine says she can hear me. Yeah, so he shouldn't have been able to do it. But you know what? He does things, and then um, all of us, he waits. He'll do it, and then he'll wait until somebody says, "Oh, you really can't do it," but he's done it. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't ask any questions. He just moves. So if nobody complains, it stays that way. But that was so upsetting um, to me when he did it. When I heard he had done it, I'm like, that was just terrible. If you haven't watched it, you need to see Don. Oh, I saw Don Lemon's interview, guys. If you haven't watched that, now see, I don't know. What do you think? How safe is she? Let's look at how safe she is. How safe is Ashley Sinclair? Does she have to be worried? I think she is a little worried about um, herself because she's talking. How safe is she? Okay, I feel like she's safe. I feel like um, with this temperance cards here, things are being balanced, and she has like her guys watching her, and she's revealing things about you know things that he's done over time around the world, and she's really giving them information about what he's done and what he's doing. And it's spreading all over the world. But I think most people know what he's doing. I mean, other countries know too. But the thing about, I have 3 yes cards here. So she's safe. The thing about it is that the United States, and I guess it's a good thing that we follow these laws, and we can't just move quickly, which is a good thing, because when things are done wrong, you know to people, we want everything to be checked out in the right way. It's just that it takes so long um, for the law to move. Yeah, she did say. She said black SUVs follow her family around. Do you think? Well, see, she has a child with him, so well, I would hope that he wouldn't do anything to his own child. Yeah, she's bringing up the election. She says there's a lot of people at top that aren't speaking out, and they know that it's wrong. Yeah, and did you see that she mentioned? This is what she mentioned. She mentioned the fact that it's a cult, and they tried to pay her um, to or to make her stay on their side or whatever, and not bring out anything. They're going to give her millions of dollars. But when you think about it, guys, guess what? I think that's what happened to Charlie Kirk. He didn't know how deep he was getting into the organization, and maybe she figured it out. Because if you're taking their money, you got to do pretty much what they say. And if you don't do what they say, they can end you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't follow their rules, because that's why they give you so much money. And I can remember hearing that Charlie Kirk, when he was like in high school or something, they gave him so many millions of dollars so to keep the MAGA thing going. I'm sure it wasn't called MAGA then, but whatever it was, to keep him on their side. But as we know, he started to turn a little bit. Yeah, 40 million dollars, and then they said something about moving her into this home, this really expensive home. You think they're going to give you things like that without your loyalty? And once you change, oh, she even mentioned Charlie. Oh, I didn't see that part. Wow. So that's probably why she's like, I can't do it, because she knows that if she does it, it's not going to work out for her if she doesn't continue, you know, to do things or say things the way they want them to do it. And see, they had a fix in on Don Lemon also. They wanted to mess him up. Oh no. You say I don't feel sorry for him. The hate that that came out of his mouth still upsets me. Um yeah, and I agree. See, the thing about it is she now has the opportunity to say, well, I take it all back, cuz she's from what she says, she didn't know what she was getting into, and she was saying things that she didn't really know about, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, she probably figured that this was better to stay alive. It's better to stay alive than to get into their little web and have to do what they have to do, have to tell her that she has to do. So, same thing, but maybe we can learn something from her, is how I see it. Even the people at the top needs to remember and think about that they'll soon after think about that they'll soon come after you. Just because you're close to power don't mean that it won't bite you. And see, he has so much money. So much money. What do you think? Is there anything that he wouldn't do? Is there anybody that he couldn't pay off? You know what I'm saying? He could give you $1 billion like nothing, you know? So that's the bad thing about it. Oh, let's see if she's being truthful. That's true. Thank you, witch. Yeah, I think she's thinking about her children too. Okay, is Ashley telling the truth about Elon and her feelings toward him? Is Ashley telling the truth about Elon and her feelings toward him and his little cult? Is Ashley telling the truth about Elon's spirit? I'm hearing yes. I think she is. Um, okay, I feel like she's caused a lot of chaos. And yes, she's coming forward with a lot of information with this Ace of Wands here. Um, and she has a lot of information. But I think she regrets what she's done. She does regret what she's done and what she said. She has even more information that she can come out with. And that this devil at the end is like she knows that she's attached herself to the wrong thing, to the wrong um, person, but she also knows that she can walk away. She's not tied to it. Yeah, she's regretful about it, and there's even more information that she can come forward with. It's causing a lot of chaos, though. So, but she's protected. I don't think anything's going to happen to her. Um, at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Yeah, we have the three of wands here. So I think she's prepared. She's prepared herself. And she's moving forward. She's gonna have a lot of progress in bringing things out about him. How does he feel about it? Oh, we already know, but let's just see what the cards say. How does Elon feel about what Ashley is saying about him? That she's bringing out these truths. See, more people need to come forward, but you gotta, she's brave. She's brave because we all know that things could happen, but I think she feels protected. Now, for her to come out, I think that she's probably put some things in place. You know what I'm saying? Because she kept saying that she had evidence. I have evidence. So it's not like she's just talking. She can prove. She can prove what she's saying. Tell us how Elon feels. He's disappointed because the seeds that he's planted, um, things are not going the way he wanted them to. He thought he had a partnership with her. He thought he had a partnership. He thought he could pay her and she would work for him, but she walked away. She walked away. He's worried. He was worried about it. And I feel like he feels like he's going to have to leave her alone. He wishes that he could do something else. He wishes that he could stop her. He could tie her up or whatever. Because he knows that she's stabbing him in the back. Here's a ten of swords. He sees that she's stabbing him in the back. And the bottom of the deck we have is the death card. So this is about endings and it can be about beginnings, but it's about change. So this is going to change some things as far as things go for him because she has even more information. Can you imagine? She got really close to him and she has even more information that she can come out with. But I feel like I said, I think she's protected but he would like to be able to do something about her, but he really, at this point, he can't. He can't. I think she knows too much and she has put some things in place so that if something happens to her, plus, like you said, she's got to protect her children. And I think that's the most important thing to her right now. The Republicans want her to snitch because they can't. Oh, you think so, Christine? Now, that could be. They're not smart. Well, they're afraid. They're afraid. In which says there's some people that did calculations about how much he makes per second, and you have to spend multiple lifetimes to even spend it. It's unusual. Yeah, I can't even imagine that. I can't even imagine that kind of money. But just think about what he can. He could do good things with it, but we know he's not. That's the sad part about it is that he doesn't want to do good things with it. So I got the initial feeling that she's truthful. Yeah, even though it probably has to do a lot with other Republicans, but a lot of Republicans doesn't actually like Orange Man. Well, I believe that too. I believe that for sure. Yeah. they're not bold enough to do it because we know about what like Russia does. The rat is learning that money can't buy you everything. Hi, Michelle. How are you? Thank you for joining us. And which says, yeah, like someone from the necessary conversations that's a YouTube channel anyway. They were trying to explain to their mother that Elon himself could fund health care or the homeless. It's so much that he could. Can you imagine? He's never, ever going to run out of money. Never, ever. And his children, if he does the right thing with them, yep, too much is given, much is required. That's right, Brenda. So, let's see. How is he doing health wise? How is Elon doing health wise? Now, we know that he does afford the best health care. But will that save him? Now I remember what my other question was, guys. It was about YouTube. Okay. How is he doing health wise? How is Elon doing health wise? We have celebrations here with the Three of Cups. We have women celebrating. And then we have the King of Pentacles. Well, he is the King of Money. And we have the Nine of Cups. His wishes coming true. Doesn't tell me really about his health. Tell me about his health. What can we know about his health, Spirit? News coming fast. There is some kind of imbalance. There's Three of Empress here. There's abundance of it. There's chaos. There's fighting, disagreements about it. And there's completion. The World card. But there is some kind of imbalance that's moving fast, and there's a lot of it. But there's disagreements maybe on how to treat it, but there's going to be some kind of completion with it. Something is going to come full circle. Is he... Oh, here's the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. So it's like karma is catching up with him. Spirit, one card. Is he having any serious problems with his health, yes or no? Is he having any serious problems with his health, yes or no? That's a yes. Ace of Cups. That's a yes. And he knows it. And it's very emotional for him. I don't know what those first three cards are trying to tell me, though. Celebration. Okay, so is this the women that are celebrating? I don't know if they've, because he has a lot of kids out there. Will they be getting paid? Hmm. So their wishes are going to come true. Hmm. Okay. So I'm wondering now, those first three cards that came out, guys, and it didn't answer my question about whether or not what his health condition was. I have the feeling now that whatever happens, these women are going to be celebrating because their wishes are going to come true. So I have a feeling that if the ones that have a child with him or whatever, children with him, in the end, they're going to be the ones celebrating because there's some kind of imbalance here. And it makes me feel like since it's such an abundance of it, maybe it's some kind of cancer or something, and they are there's disagreements. I'm sure there is about what to do, how to do it, that kind of thing. But things are going to come full circle for him. And here is that, just that Wheel of Fortune. We're talking about time here. I think we can't predict when, is what this is saying with this Wheel of Fortune. But something is going on, and we have the Ace of Cups here, which is the fact that it's emotional for him, very, very emotional. And I see that dove on that Ace of Cups. I don't think that's good in his particular case. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, he's a drug addict. Maybe that he's taking so many drugs, but um, yeah. And that, let's see. So, which is saying, and that channel, the son and daughter is trying to explain to her, and she thinks she should be happy for the rat man. She's MAGA. Okay, I'm not sure what that's about. Um, okay, which says I did watch a video that he actually came from humble beginnings, wondering how true that is. And that scientifically, when you get to that point of having that much money and it affects your brain. Hmm. I, I don't know why I thought somebody had some money, either his mother or his father, or both of them had some money. I mean, I don't know if they were millionaires or billionaires or anything like that. But it seems like I heard that they both had money. So, you know, I don't know. Yeah, Brenda says, what about those diamond mines in Africa that his dad has? Yeah, I thought he had money. And the mother came from money some kind of way. I don't know how true it was, but supposedly him and his mother lived in a office building as a home and ate beans. Now, see, I never heard that. Let's see if we can find out. Okay, give me a new chat here. Let's find out. How did Elon Musk grow up? Did he come from humble beginnings? Did his parents have money already? We want the truth. Do some research and give me the truth. Because I don't know why I thought I read somewhere. It could have been somebody else's parents. Yeah, here it is. Short version. Elon Musk did not come from humble beginnings. He grew up affluent in white South Africa under apartheid, a system that economically advantaged white families. He has an upbringing typical of white South African elite. The family was wealthy despite his parents divorcing when he was young. The money came mainly from his father, Errol Musk. Errol Musk made his real money largely through investments in emerald mines in Zambia. And when Errol and May divorced, accounts of their assets included things like a yacht and a plane. So there was considerable wealth in the household. There's one frequently repeated detail worth getting right. The emerald mine claims has been walked back, but Elon and Errol previously said Errol part owned Zambian emerald mines. But in 2023, Errol recounted that the actual deal was to receive a portion of emeralds produced at 3 small mines. Wow. Well, that's still big. Not outright ownership of a mine. Elon has pushed back on the image that he was simply handed a fortune. At 17, he moved to Canada for university. His family couldn't fully support him there, and he has said he carried significant student debt. Right. His first company, Zip2, was funded by angel investors plus modest family contributions, and he built his major fortune from selling that and PayPal. So the honest non-slogan answer, he was born into affluence and opportunity, but not into the level of wealth that explains his later billionaire on his explains his later billions on his own. Neither born rich and handed everything, nor self-made from nothing is accurate. The wealthy advantaged childhood is real and not in dispute. The emerald mine empire framing is overstated, and his later business outcomes are a separate matter from his starting position. Worth noting, these are dominant accounts from journalists and reference sources. Exact family financial records aren't fully public, which is part of why the debate persists. Yeah. So, of course, his dad is going to walk that back. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he's going to say, "No, I don't own any mines," because if he did, first of all, I don't know how you own a mine, but I guess it happens. But you're taking advantage of the people that are there. To me, if you get to own an emerald mine, I mean, that's big. Even if you own a portion of it, like he's trying to say, that's big. But I didn't think he came from humble beginnings at all. Mm-mm. Yeah, there you go, Christine. So basically, the family was colonizers. Exactly right. How do you get to own even a part of an emerald mine? I mean, really? I wonder where the misinformation came, because the video said that they lived in an office building because it was cheaper. Well, see, she came from money. That's what I always heard. She had money before she married her dad, so she came from money. That's why I couldn't understand where that was coming from, because I can't remember where she was she a model or something? I mean, but her family had money already. Um, that's what I said. But see, it's just like his dad is walking back these things. Of course, when people start digging into it, they don't want people to know the actual how much they actually own, how they got what they own, and all that kind of stuff. And they start making up stuff. To me, that's in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. I don't know, but that's what I feel. Is sometimes people walk stuff back because they don't want you to know how they really obtained their wealth. Yep. I wonder where the okay. You said okay. I heard his family owned slaves, but not sure if that's true. Oh, she's asking you if it could have been Jeff Bezos that you saw that about. Which okay, let's ask. Okay, Claude, did Elon Musk family own slaves? Check and give me true information and sources. We're going to find out. And that's another thing. They can have all this money and everything, but they didn't have to really work hard for it. The honest answer, there's no documented evidence that Elon Musk family literally owned slaves. The claim circulates, but it rests on a few different things that get blurred together. So let me separate them. First, the literal question. I couldn't find any credible record, genealogical, journalistic, or historical showing the Musk family held enslaved people. The family documented South African roots only go back to World War II era on most lines, with deeper roots in England, Canada, and the Netherlands. No reputable sources document slave ownership. Second, where the slavery language usually comes from is typically a rhetorical description of apartheid era mining, not chattel slavery. Critics argue the family fortune was built partly on exploitation of African labor during apartheid. Right. That's what I feel exactly happened. A system of systematic racial oppression with harsh, underpaid, dangerous mining conditions. And they own the mine. Okay, that's a real critique about exploitative labor and structural advantage, but exploited black labor under apartheid and owned slaves are not the same claim, and conflating them muddies the truths. Snoops, which examined the Emerald Mine rumor, found reporting that Errol, that's the father, at some point had a stake in a mine near Lake Tanganyika in Zambia, and found no evidence that money from it built Elon's wealth in North America. Right. Third, the thing people sometimes half remember, Elon himself posted in November 2024 that everyone is descended from both slaves and slave owners. Let me read that again. Elon himself posted in November 2024 that everyone is descended from both slaves and slave owners, and that it was common practice from the dawn of civilization. Really? Wow. There was a general deflation made in response to a discussion about someone else's ancestry, not an admission about his own family. People sometimes cite it as if he confirmed his family owned slaves. He didn't. No, he didn't confirm it. But he's saying that everyone is descendant from from slaves or slave owners. So is he saying that he's a descendant of slaves? I don't think he's saying that at all. So the accurate bottom line, no source evidence of literal slave ownership. What is documented is that the family was affluent and white in apartheid South Africa, a system that advantaged whites and relied on exploited black labor, and that Elon's grandfather, Joshua Haldman, was an outspoken apartheid supporter. Those are verified parts. The owned slave version is stronger than the evidence support. Yeah. Um, okay. So you had these people working for you, these black Africans working for you. Did you pay them? Maybe you're not saying that in the official way of owning slaves, but you exploited these people, to me, which is pretty much the same thing. You know, you had them doing things for you. What did you do for them? You had them in these mines and all that. You know, okay, so you're not saying that you had slaves and there was a record of it, like in the United States, the slaves that came from Africa, and there's a record of it and how they were sold and, you know, all the things that go along with that. Okay, maybe that's different. But you use these people. It's the same thing. There you go. Christine says that is a form of slavery. And for him to say that everyone was a slave or slave owner or something like that, which were you? Which was your family then? Which says just making an excuse for slavery, trying to say that we all came from either side. Yeah, really? Okay. So, but you know, that's where they want to take us back to again. But of course, we all know that's not going to happen. Not in any kind of future. That's not going to happen. That's why they want to control everything, because they want to stop people from moving forward. Okay, which says some people had slaves at different points, but that doesn't make it right. We're all human. Yeah, I agree with that. People, some people did have slaves, so, but I don't know what that means. It, okay, some people had slaves and they used people. I don't understand what the point is. Why should you want to exploit people like that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? People are people. But then as we know, they use the color of their skin to say that some people were subhuman compared to them. So that made it okay. And then they made a Bible that says slaves um, do what do what your master says. And it's been handed down and handed down and handed down over all of these centuries. And so, therefore, people really believe that they are more human than other people because of the color of their skin. So it's embedded in them that that's the way it is, that that's the way it's supposed to be. That is why they said, slaves, obey your masters. And this is what they want to continue. This is what they want to keep going. This is why a lot of people are so set in their ways. This is a reason why black people are so forgiving and so welcoming, because they have been taught that this is the way to live so they can go to heaven, because it's in the Bible. In a Bible that these supremacists got their hands on and made it exactly the way they wanted to make it. And then they passed it along to their families who believed what they told them. When you think about it, when you've been taught something for hundreds of years, it's embedded in your DNA that you are better. This is the outcome that we get. What we're going through right now is the outcome that we get, because these people really do believe they're better. That's the bottom line. And they think because you're beneath them and you need to be doing what they say do, so that they can progress and forget what you want. Okay, I have to calm down. Anyway, we probably need to get off of this subject, because sometimes I get a little bit pissed when I start talking about stuff like this, because, I wish that more people could wake up and see what's really going on. But it takes so much for people to wake up. And I'm not talking about just the white people. I'm talking about us. We need to wake up and really understand what's happening, because we will never be able to get out from under this until we realize that we've been controlled. We've been controlled for years, for not years, centuries and centuries and centuries. So controlled that it's in our DNA that we should accept things the way they are and just, try to get along. And mostly so that we can go to heaven and get our due diligence there once we get there. Okay? I wish that people realized that certain people got their hands on that Bible that they call the Word of God and made it their word. I wish that people understood that. When I think about the black church, it is so indoctrinated with all of this that if you told them the truth, people wouldn't know what to do. And you come here, when you're born, nobody has to tell you that thou shalt not kill. Nobody has to tell you that, all these certain things that they have written, all these rules. It should be, it's innate within you. Now, I'm not saying that everybody is good. We have the good and we have the evil. Okay? That's just the way life is. But a lot of these people are taught how to be evil toward others because they're taught that they're better. That's where we fall short. We let that stand for so long. And I know it was a survival tactic. When you get here, when our people got here and they were slaves, they had to survive. So they had to, if it weren't for their survival, a lot of us wouldn't even be here. Even the ones that were here before Columbus founded us, they were put into that system also. Copper-colored people, even though they were here before, they just blended right in with the people that they were bringing in on ships. So who's to know who was who? But they accepted the fact that, I don't know if it was the fact that these people looked different or whatever. They welcomed them in. They brought them these blankets with disease on them. They gave them these weapons and taught them how to become addicted. Then they took over everything. That's just what happened. And I wish that our people could wake up and see what's really going on. But I don't know if that'll ever happen. And the fact that they're trying to make this a Christian nation, do you think that's for our benefit? No. That's a form of control. They want everybody to be Christians. If you look at it back in the day, when people were not Christians and they worshiped the way they wanted to worship, there's nothing wrong with worshiping. But who says that you have to be indoctrinated into a certain cult? Okay? So, they killed to make people accept Christianity. This is something that people don't understand. Why do you need to kill to make people become Christian? They're doing the same thing right. They want to do the same thing right now. And the person that came in there and held the Bible upside down, they think that he's, God sent. He's a Christian. He's all this. And nobody questioned, why is he holding that Bible upside down? He don't believe it. He don't believe it, but he knows that it's a form of control. And nobody questioned why he was doing it. Everybody said, oh, did you see him holding the Bible upside down? Yeah. Why? Because he knows what the truth is. And I wish people could see it. Yeah, religious wars are the bloodiest wars, so sadly. Yeah, Israel right now, okay? How can you own some land? Who are you? Just like, how can you own some minds? Who are you? This land is my land, and you can't come on it, and you better stay over there on your side. And it's just stupid, and people don't see through it, and they fight. They fight about it. They fight that because you don't believe in the same God that they believe in, or maybe to them there is no, I'll say a higher being or whatever. But they have this thing about, if you don't believe this way, then you're wrong. Do you know how many religions there are? Why? Why are there so many religions? Because people need to control people. So they get you in this sect. Where I live, there's a church on every doggone corner. Everybody should be good. But everybody's not good. Because what they're teaching is not true. And I mean, people, they build these churches. They build the churches because that's their way of making an income. And they can come in and tell you whatever they want to tell you, and you follow it like everything they say is godly. And God, the only way you can speak to God is if you speak through them. Really? You got to have a middleman to go to God. If you can't figure that's a lie. If you can't go within yourself and go to whoever you say is your higher source or higher creator or even yourself to figure this out, I don't know. I think a lot of people have just been so brainwashed that they don't even want to think about relying on themselves to find the truth. If you deviate one way from that, if you start asking questions in the church, you're bad, you're wrong. But these churches on every corner, each one of them might only have 10 worshipers in there. But that worshiper is making sure that that person that's bringing them the word, no matter what that person does outside of church, they don't care about funding them. They can see them do something outside of church, something that they talked about was wrong, and it's okay. You know, we just go for the word. It's not the man that we listen to. We listen to the word. Well, the person that's bringing you the word is not truthful, and you still think he can bring truth to you? Really? I mean, guys, this is just, it's just crazy. Okay, let me read some of your comments. Okay, which says, yeah, very few religions actually allow you freedom. Well, religion is man-made. First thing, religion is man-made. This is not something that, if you go way back, you find out that, you know, people started just gathering, and then they needed a place to have their gatherings, and then they started building these churches. People just used to go out and just worship on their own. They didn't have to have a building. They didn't have to have a bunch of people around them. But since this thing, as it got going, it was a moneymaker, and it was a control kind of thing. So if you're controlling yourself, if you're understanding the higher being on your own, why do you need somebody else to tell you to do it, to tell you what to do? You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't need that. But people feel that this is the only way to go because they need to have somebody, a leader. They need a leader because they can't lead themselves. So they need a leader. It's the same like right now people say, "Oh, who's leading the black people?" You know, we had Malcolm X, we had Martin Luther King. You know, back in the day, there was all of these people that stepped forward and they paid for it with their lives. And as far as Martin Luther King goes, at the end of his life, he understood that he wasn't, some kind of way, he was enlightened. And he figured that the way that he taught people was not the right way. And he talked about that. And then, you know, he was gone. So he realized later that turn the other cheek mess was not the right way to do it. Okay? But we don't need a particular person to lead us. We need to lead our own selves. We need to think for ourselves and stop waiting for somebody else to step forward and do this for us. Where where do you fit into the equation as a person? Where do each of us fit into the equation? If we were just waiting on a particular person to fight for us, you need to fight for yourself. You know, you need to pay attention to what's going on around you, such as AI. It's the same thing happened when computers came out. They kept saying, "Oh, the computer's is going to take this from us. It's going to take that from us," and certain people, if you don't get it, you're going to be left. You're going to be left behind, and people were afraid of computer systems, and you can't do anything without a computer. And I feel sorry for some of the people that are really elderly that not didn't really understand it. And not all elderly people. My mother took computer classes herself, and she learned how to work the iPad and this. So it's not everybody, but some people, just like with AI, they don't want to accept the fact that you're not going to be able to live without AI being in your life. You might as well accept it and go along with the program so that you're not left behind. And like I said before, I'm not saying accept everything about it and all that. You got to have sense for yourself. You got to be able to figure out what is right and what is wrong. And that's why I think we are so behind in some things. It's because we want everybody else to figure it out for us. Figure it out for yourself. And if you don't know, ask somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I know that as certain people, when you get to be a certain age, you just, you don't want to be bothered because it's too much. And I understand that part of it too, you know. But I hope, because we sit around and we think, oh, it's doing this to us, it's doing. They're going to take your jobs anyway, unfortunately. And I hate to say it. Like I said before, he's already taken so many. How many black women are out of work right now because of DEI, because of all the federal people that he laid off, and all the things that he's already done? We see it happening daily. And you can't just sit back and just, like I'm just out of the system now. Okay, that's what they're trying to do. Just like back in the day, it's so many ways that we can see that things go around in a circle and that life is not just straightforward. I remember back in the day when people were on ADC. This is another government program, okay? They called it Aid to Dependent Children. I was young at the time, but I remember how women had to make sure that their husbands or whoever fathered their children, even if they weren't married, couldn't be in the household in order for them to get money. What do you think that did for the black family? The father had to leave the home. The father could not raise their own children because if there was a man in the house, the woman could not get support. That was another system. That was another way of controlling people. And people accepted it. Instead of the man saying, and I'm sure it was harder then for them to get jobs because of racism, segregation, all that kind of stuff. And maybe that was their survival, their way of surviving for their children. But the people who were in control of this, they knew it. So all they had to say was, look, get the man out of your house, we'll give you some money. And it worked. And now we have all of these grown people who didn't have a father in their lives, who now, especially girls need their fathers and boys need their fathers too, both. But you don't know how to live a certain kind of way because you didn't have that in your life. So you're trying to figure it out. Even though you're grown, you're still trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure out as a woman how a man is supposed to treat you, and as a man, how you're supposed to treat a woman in the black community. And we got all this rap stuff going on telling you how, how to belittle black women. This is another form of, I'll give you some money if you do it this way. They are always in control, and we always let it happen. We never figure it out. That is what I'm saying. We need to wake up. It's not all on them because we let them control us. And that's the way it is. So whenever we decide that we're going to wake up and understand that we can control ourselves, until we do that, and until we start spending money in the black community, until we stop giving them, we have a lot of money. Our money can influence a lot, but we continue to put it right back in there. There's so many ways that this happens, but I don't know. I think we just need to be critical thinkers, and we're not. We're not. And we need to understand that we need to stop and think about what's going on. This thing with him right now, with this orange peel in office, he knows. He's doing things like what happened with, he put up these pictures of Obama and Michelle being apes. And you can't tell me, for entertainment purposes only, this is just my opinion, that you can't tell me that he didn't have anything with what that guy said at the wrestling thing. I really think he has something to do with that because he wants to drive this division. He wants them to continue to think that they are better and we're just animals. And if you're a woman, you're not if you're a black woman, you're not feminine at all. But other women want to be like us. It's one thing that people need to recognize. There's men and women that want to be like the black man and woman. And we used to get courage and be confident in ourselves enough to know that this is really what's going on. So they're trying to tear us down to make like we're less than. And part of the problem is that they really feel like they are. Okay? They can't reach that bar of beauty unless they feel their lips and feel their hips and breast and all these things, okay? And get darker skin. But they hate us. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Let's see, Christine says, I lost my mom when I was 11. I ended up in an abusive relationship because I didn't know how to navigate these things. I got tired, so now I just stay to myself. Men have harmed men in every way. Yeah. That is so true. Yeah, you don't know. And you can, I'm sorry that happened to you at such a young age. And you can grow up with a mom, but still don't understand. Because of the way that slavery has been such a part of our lives and our DNA, sometimes it's hard for a black man to stand up and protect a black woman. I'm not saying all of them, because during that time they couldn't and live. When you think about how slavery was, that white man could come in and do whatever he wanted to do to your wife or your daughter, and if you said anything, you were shot or hung. So it's not just that, I don't know how to say it, but there's a lot of room for growth. And I think that now is the time for us to grow up. And I understand that there's a lot of reasons why people don't. They're afraid to do what they need to do. I mean, we've been, there's been Black Wall Street. It's not like blacks haven't tried, because they have. But every time the other group is allowed to, or they come in and they destroy things. So then it makes you think, it makes a black man think, why should I try? And I'm not saying that about everybody, because it's not true about everybody. But I'm just saying that it's hard to get that, to shake that kind of feeling out of a lot of us, because it's just been so embedded. And getting back to what he's doing with the Obamas, this is just another form of it, to making you feel like you're less than, and making them feel like they're better than, so that they feel like they really are better. And we really are 3/4 a person. It's their whole agenda. Oh, which are you leaving? Oh, Christine's leaving. Thank you, Christine, for being here. Yeah, we're in a moment of growth and transition. I think now is the time for us to decide how we're going to do it. I think that we're in this place so that we can see, so that we can wake up and really see what's happening. We're, in a sense, they're not in control too either, but I think that the universe is in control, and the universe is trying to wake us up. I'm here for a while with you, as long as you're on. Thank you. Thank you, Witch. Oh, yeah, because of her history, yeah. Yeah, we've all come through a lot. But it's even the supremacists that they, or what they call themselves. Um, it doesn't matter what they go through. They still don't equate themselves on the same level as us. You know what I'm saying? They're still better. And if it wasn't for us, they think if it wasn't for us, they'd be even better off. But we keep taking their jobs, and we keep doing this to them. We keep doing that to them. And they can't stand us, because if it wasn't for us, they would have had a better job, DEI. Okay, they would have been able to go to college, instead of them putting a black person in their place. They would have had that space. Well, you know what? If it wasn't, one of the reasons that college is so expensive is because they're trying to put it out of our reach. Okay, that's why a lot of them that are saying don't help with paying off student loans went for free. You know, so it's all about control. Which says she wanted to have a prayer, but he would not pray for them. Who would not pray? It reminds me of my grandma's church. She's no longer there, but the pastor refused to pray for Spanish Mexicans. Wow. Wow, really? That's terrible. How can you refuse to pray? You're a pastor and you refuse to pray for someone. Tell me how that's supposed to happen. So she left the church. That's good. That's good. I can remember my mother being religious and leaving on whether or not, okay, they can break a rule. The pastor can say something, but all of a sudden, if it's to their benefit, they can break the rule. And then you're supposed to be okay with that. Me, I've been asking questions since I was like 8 or 9 years old. How can, if God said it, and I would ask my mother, if God said it, why are they changing the rules now? What makes it okay? I remember my first question, um, the Supremes, and I went to Church of God in Christ, guys, so it was very restrictive, no pants. You can't have your elbows out. Your dresses has to come to a certain length. You can't be showing your legs, all that kind of stuff, right? Um, and you had to be natural. No makeup, no nail polish, no lipstick, nothing. Okay. And when Motown came around during that time, the '60s or whatever, and the Supremes and all the other women, they were wearing wigs, and then the mother of the church got a wig. So the pastor said it was okay now. They could all wear wigs. And that was my first question to my mother, I remember. Well, Ma, I thought God said you can't wear wigs. And she was like, well, the pastor said it was okay, so now it's okay. But I thought God's word was God's word. You can't change God's word. Well, the pastor says it's okay, so it's okay. And from then on, I just started watching what was happening, and it made me just really think, what is really going on here? You know? So when things started happening that she didn't like, she was ready to move on to a different church. But she never, fell out with her religion like I did. I just couldn't handle all of the control. Um, so, yeah, I just can't understand. I know people that have always given tithes, and then they go to the pastor and say, I need help with my light bill, and they can't help them, or whatever. I need help with groceries, and they can't help them. Although they tell you if you don't bring those tithes every Sunday, you're going to hell. So my grandma actually did voted for Orange Man the first time, but she woke up very quickly, thank goodness. Yes. She voted for Kamala this time, and the interesting thing is she voted for Obama as well, and she voted for Biden as well, but the very first time she did vote for the orange man. Yeah, well, she learned early on, and these black men that voted for, I know black men that voted for orange peel, and I was telling them, you think that because he's wealthy, that he's going to help you get wealthy. No, he does not care about. This is why they vote. Well, we need change. Well, maybe he can help us. Really? Have you listened to his rhetoric the whole time? Because if you had, there's no way you would be voting for him. Yeah. She knew what was right in the first place. Yeah, I believe that. Oh, yeah, tithing is definitely a scam in most churches. Well, the thing that I think is a scam, I think if you okay, you should be able to give if you want to give something, because you are going in a place and they need to be able to keep the lights on if they're going to have you there all the time. But the thing that I think is a scam is they're telling you if you don't bring a certain percentage of your your weekly or monthly income, that you are going to go to hell. And I know of some churches who even say, we need to see your W-2s, or we need to see what you submitted to the IRS, because we got to make sure you're bringing us the right amount of money. You can't be, we don't trust you as a member of the church to really give us tithes. And people do that. They will bring that stuff in and do that. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's having too much control over you. I mean, my mother wouldn't have any reason to ask me to let me see your W-2. Why should the pastor? To me, the whole thing is crazy. So, I can see if you want to go to any place and you want the upkeep, then maybe you should be bringing in some money to help them keep the upkeep, but not because you're threatened because you're going to go to hell. They're scaring you to death, and you, instead of going within and figuring out yourself what is going on, you believe. You just believe because he says he's the pastor and he's a man of God. Well, we're all children of God, if you look at it that way. We're all a part of the divine. So, I mean, why can't I get that information for myself? That's the part that gets me. But like I said, this happened so long ago, and it's indoctrinated into people that if they really figured it out, they would know what to do with themselves, because they figure out that they have been living under a system of control the whole time that they really didn't need. Unless you're one of those people that need to be led a spoon-fed things all the time, then, it's for you. It's for you. Hi, Keisha. Let's see. And Christine says the rhetoric was about a black woman and black man, and black men did not want to be led by a black woman, so they agreed with the orange peel. Plus, they only care about money, and he made them believe they would get rich. Yes. Yes. Some men believe that black women don't know anything. That's been put in their heads, you know, even black men, you know. But men in general don't want to be led by women. And that's even if there's a woman pastor. A lot of men don't believe that a woman can bring the word, or whatever that word is. I don't want to say what I want to say. I'm not going to say it. But can jump around and hoop and holler like a man can perform. So she can't possibly give them any truth. Only a man can give them that truth. And that's a problem. But what is the truth is the problem. Hi, Kathy. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I agree. He definitely stole it. But the thing is, he was going to steal it anyway, for sure. That was on the agenda, to steal it. And he did, and he got away with it. We have never seen a map go red so quick. I mean, it was in less than an hour, and the whole map of the United States was red. It's never happened like that before. You know, they take their time and they figure, oh, we got to wait and see what this happens and that. No, it just went completely red. He stole it. He stole it for sure. But he also made the black man think that he was going to help them get rich. I don't know what were they listening to over the last 20 years since he's been on the scene. I mean, you don't think about the fact, this is the thing. You don't think about the fact of those 5 men in New York that he wanted executed even though they were not innocent, they were not guilty. They were found innocent. And he was like, no, we're going to get rid of them anyway. You don't look at that and think, there's something wrong with this picture? Really? It's just, I don't understand it. Yeah, which says, yeah, they use the Bible scriptures as well, and they say, oh, it's in the Bible. What they don't understand is the Bible gets re-edited every year. There's always new editions of the Bible coming out because it's the word of man, okay? And people need to understand that that's what it is. I mean, maybe there are some stories in there that just like you and me, okay, we're sitting here talking and we're thinking, something just got downloaded to us and we want to put it on paper. And that's why people can't really understand what's happening with the Bible, because the people that got information downloaded to them, I'm not talking about the ones that changed it and took things out and whatever. I always thought that it was the word of a man. But just say I got something downloaded to me and I want to write it down and I want to make a poem out of it. Or I want to make a story out of it. And I make a story out of it and I put it in a book. Who says you have to follow that? Who says you have to follow that? But they put in this book all the things that they wanted to put in this book to make people follow the way they wanted to follow. And the people, maybe it wasn't even supposed to be the book of God or whatever. We don't know what they did with this way, way, way back in the day, but it is a form of control. So, I mean, I could write you a story or I could write you a poem and say, okay, this is what you need to follow right here. Everybody follows it. Really? Who says what I know is true? What I'm saying right now, nobody, I'm not saying you have to believe what I say, but all I'm saying is for people to try to wake up enough that they can try to, and it's hard when you've been spoon fed one thing for all your life and your parents have been spoon fed it and their parents, and there we go back, 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 to say, wait a minute, I need to really think about this. That's all I'm saying. I wish that our people would wake up and just start thinking about some of the things that they've been spoon fed. Don't believe me. Just try to, you think about things and you say, you know, why is that true? Who said that was true? You know, that's all I'm saying. Don't listen to me. I'm just I'm just thinking out loud, guys. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. And which says, I agree, Mary, a form of control. I could write it and say it. It's this book, and I got it from God, and you have to follow everybody. Follow everybody. Right. Right. Tim Scott's still tap dancing. I wonder, what does he think is going to happen for him? He's silly to me. The Willie Lynch letter should tell us all we need to know. Tell us all we need to know about their way of thinking. Yes. Yes. But there's some things in that too that makes you think, what that's all about. They love that Old Testimony, about Timothy and Corinthians. They love the point that out about women. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, which says, okay. A big thing, especially for older people, but even younger people that rely on mainstream media and they're not explaining everything yet. Oh, yeah, no votes for Kamala at all. See, would you, no votes for Kamala at all. That can't be. I can't believe that's true. I can't believe that's true. No votes at all. Somebody's gonna leave their people and say, you know, yeah, I kind of believe what she's saying, so I'm gonna give her a vote. Not one vote. Don't even make sense. That kind of thing don't even make sense. Can you do a quick reading before you go about Graham Plattner from Maine for Senator of Maine? He seems like he's actually ready for big change. Well, let's see. Graham Plattner. What's going on with you, Graham Plattner? Just clearing things. We've been talking so much about everything. Okay. Graham Plattner, tell us about you. Tell us about him, Spirit. How is he going to do? How is Grand Platinum going to do a spirit? Okay. The card's upside down. Yeah, they're upside down. Hmm. Okay, I pulled 5 cards. Um, the devil's in the middle here. The Hierophant, the Queen of Wands. If he goes forward, I mean, it looks like it's going to be slow, and there is probably some. Well, we know that people are working against him. Um, Let me clarify this. I'm not sure he's going to make it. There's lots of opposition and lots of money. He's going to be trying to hold on, and I got this Ace of Cups in the reverse, which is telling me he's going to be blocked. That's the energy around it right now. Okay, the energy right now is that he's going to have a hard time making it. There's going to be a lot of confusion. He's going to be trying to hang in there. But I can't see that right now that and things could change. When is it? Oh, he's running for the Senate in Maine. When is there let me see what you're saying. Okay, you're talking about Kamala. I'm not sure that he's going to make it, guys. These are the cards. Heartbreak is at the end there. So we'll just have to wait and see. You're talking about Maxwell. I said months and months ago that she was not in jail. She was not in prison. All you have to do is go back and look at my videos. I said it probably was in a live, and we did a reading on her. I always realized that she was not in jail, even though that was even before they started showing the fake her, for entertainment purposes only. And this is all alleged. Before they started showing the fake her, I saw that she was not in jail. She's out having a good time, guys. Somebody else they paid to take her place. And that's the bottom line. First of all, she knows too much. And there's no way that, I mean, why wouldn't he let her out? He let all the J6ers out. Why would he keep her in jail? And we all know that that person that they showed doesn't look anything like her. You know, he has no problem doing what he needs to do for entertainment purposes only, and allegedly he has no problem doing what he needs to do to keep himself clean. So yeah, I said that months and months ago. She was not in prison. Mm-mm. Oh, he's already won. Well, um, things don't look good for him. I'll put it that way. Hopefully, um, it'll work out. But from those cards, things didn't look good. So hopefully he can do what he needs to do. But okay, guys. Thank you all for being here with me. I appreciate you. And um, uh, any questions you have for me that you want me to look at next week, please put them in the um, comments on the page, and so that I can look into them for next week. And I hope you guys will join me again next week. I've been on here almost 3 hours. That went so fast. Anyway, I appreciate you all, and I will see you on the next read. Have a good evening, everyone.